Right, so Quest has just launched the NetVault version 13. Can you give us a little bit of information about the NetVault sort of product suite overall, and obviously a bit of a sort of high-level view of version 13?
Sure. So NetVault is a backup and recovery technology. It's very mature. It has an awful wide coverage and a lot of application depth as well. So it spans virtual environments, physical environments, plus into cloud as well. So it's very adaptable for a hybrid environment, as well as a data center based environment, as well as cloud content too. So it has broad coverage in that respect. NetVault 13 is kind of focused a bit more on the cloud piece, specifically around the Microsoft 365 technology and Teams as well. And we have a few other elements that actually improve the technology throughout as well.
Okay, I guess we're all becoming very familiar with Microsoft Teams and the current situation. So what specifically does the version 13 do around that?
Well, around the Teams piece, I mean, when you look at Teams as a whole, there's a level of context in there. It's not just about conversations, but there's also sites and files and anything that interlinks the users in that respect of accessing the data set. So there are obviously other Teams data recovery solutions available in the marketplace. However, what we've found is that a lot of them recover the items that you had available to you within the Teams application, but without any kind of contextual linking. And that's the step further that we've gone with NetVault 13 and that Microsoft 365 technology with Teams, is to actually look at the context and the users and how they were accessing, and the users associated with a particular channel perhaps inside a team, as well as the files that they were accessing and sharing. So all of that contextual linking gets put back as well. So from an admin perspective, it's a proper recovery. It's not, here are a few bits and pieces and we'll leave you to go and sort the rest out. We actually put the team and the channels back and all the content back into as it should be and to be usable again.
Okay, and I believe also something maybe I need a bit of explanation for me apart from everyone else, but you've got a new REST API interface, is that right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. NetVault for a long time has a command line interface available, and lots of people have used that in the past, but we've found more and more requests from our customers, and certainly our managed service providers and our larger customers, a requirement to change the way that they want to work. They want to be able to orchestrate things in a wider framework, so that normally now requires these days a REST-based interface. So this actually allows you to do anything you can do from the user interface, but just by using standard REST API calls and methodologies. So it's very, very simple to implement into an orchestration layer, perhaps from a managed service provider, or a large global customer that has their own kind of technology stack that they put in place to manage their protection along with other things. They can then use NetVault as a backend to do all of that through that REST API.
Okay, and I know over the last few years, licensing has become an increasingly interesting issue, shall I say. You've got a new a variation on the existing licensing model with this release?
We have, and it's actually more of a technology-based change, in as much as that the licensing model we had in previous versions of NetVault was distributed. So that means that, for a larger environment, keeping track of everything that was installed and licensed correctly on individual machines or individual technology pieces was kind of a little bit cumbersome. So what we've done with NetVault 13 is we've actually centralized all of that. So that allows us to manage it from a single point and apply a single file for licensing instead of having multiple files. So for the end user, an awful lot easier for them to deal with on a regular basis, and for us, an easier way to actually get what the customer needs in their licensing very, very quickly.
Okay, and moving on, again, Coolstore may not be familiar to everyone, but you introduced scale-up management of the Coolstore target, perhaps a little bit about Coolstore and then the specific.
Yes, absolutely. So Coolstore is a software-defined secondary storage technology. This is a technology that we've had in Quest for some time. It has around about 10 years worth of R&D, and it allows us to actually deploy our target technology pretty much anywhere we want, in terms of delivering deduplication, compression, encryption. Um, It works with 13 different backup applications as well. As I said, it used to be on a hardware appliance technology, but we've stripped that out. So it's a software deliverable only, even to a point it's down to an installer. So you don't even have to have a specific set of hardware or even a specific set of virtualization infrastructure to run this on. Integration with NetVault is very, very tight. You can actually manage Coolstore target technology from within NetVault, so you can have that single pane of glass piece. And the extra thing we've added with NetVault 13 is the ability to actually scale out multiple Coolstore targets in such a way that enables the best methodology for moving and storing data to make the most of the deduplication across multiple elements, as well as ensuring an extra level of security against risk of losing data sets that have been spread across multiple targets. So we keep the backup chains together, which gives us the best deduplication outcome as well. And we manage that with an intelligent algorithm sat inside NetVault. So it's pretty seamless. You add those Coolstore targets into a pool, and then you direct your backup to that pool, and then NetVault takes care of everything else of where it's going to send the data and keep managing that in the right way.
Excellent. And I think there's perhaps one more major new element to the release, and that's around intelligent synthetic full backup. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So that's another element within Coolstore, is to leverage that Coolstore technology to provide an intelligent-based synthetic full backup. So rather than copying data back out and writing data back in again, we actually do that in the synthetic full creation just by moving blocks and creating pointers within Coolstore. So what used to take hours now takes minutes. So when you want to do that, that next full backup point, you don't have to do that in terms of NetVault. We've been able to do that for many, many, many years, but now you can actually do it at the storage layer underneath with Coolstore. So what would have been traditionally a method of creating a synthetic full, still there, but we've just made it an awful lot faster.
Excellent. I suppose, I mean, with you've just released the software, it might seem a little bit sort of premature, but are there any other sort of features on the roadmap before we close that you're aware of that you're going to be introducing, whether it's later this year or a bit further on?
I think right now you're going to see a consolidation of some of the technologies we have in NetVault and providing easier models to work with as we go forward. One of the main tenets of NetVault is it's an easy to use application in a complex environment. And as we go forward, you'll see more things that are reducing that complexity down. So things like that scale out storage management piece, that's a complexity reduction technology. And as we look at things like Microsoft 365 and Teams could be fairly complex in terms of getting things back how you want it. We'll make those things easier and easier as we go on. So as we go forward, we'll be adding other technologies along with this, but also keeping that primary reason for NetVault of keeping things simple and easy in a complex world.
Okay, excellent. I mean, anything else to add, or have we pretty much found out most of what's new here?
I think we're pretty much found out. That's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks for your time. Thanks.
Thank you.